Hi guys, welcome back to Throwing Up Them Hoops. Here I am with Dan. We're both really excited about the new NBA season. Just started last night. First, we're going to talk about that Celtics-Sixers game. What do you think?
Man, the Sixers were trash, which is really sad because I like them. I was rooting for them last postseason, but they really looked awful. The Celtics are a really good team, so they're capable of making other teams look awful, but I wasn't expecting them to make the Sixers look like that because I generally consider the Sixers lately to be a very good team as well. But the Celtics look great, and the Sixers just looked totally out of their league.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at faults, comparing to Tatum. Throughout the season, obviously, there was essentially a swap there in the 2017 NBA draft. So far, it looks like the Celtics have won that. We'll see looking forward. And later that night, we had the Golden State Warriors playing a Westbrook-less Oklahoma City Thunder team, and they only won by 8. Are you surprised by that? Is that a reason for concern?
I was shocked by that. Thunder with Westbrook aren't the second best team in the West. And for the Warriors to only win by 8, I mean, yeah, it's the very beginning of the season, so I don't think it's that much cause for concern. But it was definitely a far closer game than I was expecting. It's good news for the Thunder to be able to be so competitive without Westbrook, who adds 10, 20 points whenever he's on the field or on the court. So, I mean, for him to be able to not play and for the Thunder to still do well against the best team in basketball it's really good news for them, but it is a bit concerning for the Warriors.
So I'm going to throw it over to tonight's games. We've got the Suns playing the Mavericks. We normally wouldn't talk about either teams, but it's Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton, two of the front runners for Rookie of the Year. Do you think either of them are going to win Rookie of the Year, or will it be somebody else?
I think that Doncic has a very good chance of winning Rookie of the Year. I still think the Mavericks are worse than the Suns, and the Suns are going to win tonight. But I do think, at least he's not tested really at an NBA level yet, because preseason games don't really test you to your full extent. But he's a really talented player, and I think if he plays to his potential, he could definitely win Rookie of the Year.
And throwing it over to the matchup of disgruntled players, Jimmy Butler, who's unhappy with the Timberwolves, and DeMar DeRozan, who was unhappy being traded away from Toronto to San Antonio. So the Spurs and the Wolves are playing tonight. What do you think is going to happen? What do you expect from both teams this season?
So I might be slightly biased, but I think the Spurs are going to win. They are my team, but I'm trying to say that without bias. Jimmy Butler's not going to play because he doesn't want to play. The difference between Butler and DeRozan is that, while Butler, like I said, isn't going to play, DeMar DeRozan is coming into the year with a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove that he shouldn't have been traded. And so I think he really wants to make a statement in San Antonio that he is at least at Kawhi Leonard's level. So I think he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, and I think that the Spurs are going to win, and I think that while both teams are probably playoff teams, they're both lower tier playoff teams. They're not the Thunder, the Rockets, or the Warriors. So they're both playoff teams is how I see the year going for both of them. Timberwolves need to get Jimmy Butler off their team as quickly as possible, and I think the Spurs win tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I also think DeMar DeRozan's going to have a huge chip on his shoulder to, try to prove the Toronto management wrong, that they were wrong in trading him away. And we'll see what happens throughout the season. So that's it for Throwing Up the Hoops today. We'll be back next week.